everybody. Oh, it's so lovely to be here. Forgot to put my earrings in, can you believe? Haven't worn earrings for about 18 months. I brought my very best ones, and I've left them in my handbag, but never mind. How's everybody? Okay. Wasn't Will amazing? Weren't they fantastic? Should we give them another big round? Yay. Well, thank you so much. I played here a few years ago. It was my very first time coming, and I absolutely loved it. And I was so happy that Sandra invited me back. I always think it's amazing when anybody books you. I mean, I'll play anywhere. I just think it's an honour. And but when anybody books you again, I think that's brilliant because it means they liked you. So I'm going to do a bit of a mixture of stuff. And it's just ever so nice to be, I think a lot of people have been saying this, it's nice to be stood up because I've been sat down for a year and a half. Now, I was sat down to play at the dining table, but I was also sat on my settee during the week when it wasn't Saturday night, eating a lot of toast. So loads of friends of mine did stuff during lockdown. Richard Digance wrote, published, put up on Amazon for sale, 4 books during lockdown, 4. And absolutely amazing. Another friend of mine wrote a book. Another friend of mine lost 3 stone. All this kind of stuff. And I just basically ate a lot of Warburton's toast. That was it, really. And did my Saturday night, you know. I washed my hair on a Saturday for my gig on the online. So it's lovely to be here. And I'm very excited that I'm here for 2 days. So I'm very much looking forward to coming and chatting and catching up. And if I don't start singing, I'll just be talking for an hour, won't I? So I'd just like to say a big hello to everybody tuning in online. It's so lovely and generous that the festival make the festival available to everybody overseas. So big hi at anybody tuning in online. My mum might be tuning in. She's looking after a tortoise in Maltby called Caroline, pet sitting. So big hello to my mum, Auntie Celia in Preston. Anyway, I'll start with an original song. Thank you, Louise, for that lovely introduction, Louisa. This is one of mine called Leave a Light On For You. It's a song about old flames. Not that I've had that many, really. So. Could have had me for a song, 'cause my love is so strong. And though the years have come and gone, I leave a light on for you. I'm breathing in now, and I remember the day you went away, and I missed my chance to say that I'd leave a light on for you. And how I wish that I'd known how quickly life moves on, and how I wish I'd been brave enough to try and make you stay. It was so long ago, but I still love you so, and I thought that you should know that I leave a light on for you. We were too young and free to think things would ever change, and now it's easy to see how different it all might have been. You could have had me for a song, 'cause my love was so strong. Though the years have come and gone, I of professionalism, that, isn't it? Professionalism. Can't say professionalism. That's a great word to get wrong, isn't it? Waving at your friends when you see them, honestly, when I'm like 6. It's just so nice to be out and about, though. Now, the very first thing I did this year was the Beardy Folk Festival. It was amazing. I forgot everything as well. I forgot all the little things that you take around to your gigs. Forgot them all. But I saw Maddie and Steve. They had a lovely, lovely time. It was amazing. So I'm going to actually do a song that I know Maddie likes in a minute. So what I thought I'd do today, because I'm playing again tomorrow on the Village stage, I thought I'd just do a bit of a mixture. Louisa very kindly was saying about the request show I was doing on Facebook, which was completely inspired by Flossie. Any Flossie fans in? She's amazing, isn't she? So Flossie, I've known Flossie for a long, long time, pretty much since she first came over to England to start, studying and teaching and playing. And she's really, really lovely. And Flossie moved back to France just before the COVID thing happened. And she decided to do an online Facebook Live gig on her birthday last April. And I had thought that if you did an online gig, you had to have a big fancy PA and know what you were doing. And my phone is actually from 2012, so, I couldn't even use that. And so anyway, my friend Lynette Booth Malone sold me her old phone, which was 6 years newer than my phone, but it was her old one. And you could do Zoom on it, and you could do this and that and the other. And so I was able to watch Flossie's gig on that. And then she said, "Oh, Edwina, have a go." So I just sat at the dining table, just with the guitar, no PA or anything. And I said it was going to be a request show, and I thought people would ask for songs of mine or songs they knew I did, which is pretty much anything by Richard Thompson or Nancy Griffith. Okay, Rusby. Well, no, they didn't. I think the first request I got was Copacabana by Barry Manilow. So I thought, okay, this is what this is going to be. So I just went with it, and I thought, right. So all these requests came in, and I remember it got to about 2 or 3 months, and my sister said, "Ed, have you still got requests to do?" I said, "Yeah, the pile's getting bigger." So I had 3 piles, songs I knew that I'd played before, which was really small, or mine. There was songs I'd heard of but never had a go at, but I had a bit of a chance because I knew the melody, like Bridge Over Troubled Water or something. And then there were songs I'd never heard of in my life. And then there was also a few that I'd heard of but couldn't play because they had jazzy chords in. I still don't play B minor. I avoid it like the plague. So it was really good fun anyway. And I really did enjoy it. So I thought what I'd do for my set today, the very last one I did in June, I actually said next week will be the last one, because we're coming out of lockdown. And so what I'll do, I'll go through all the requests I had all year. And I'll do a top 10. So I ended up with all these piles on the kitchen floor. I'd kept all the requests, who they were for and everything. So I thought I would do a mixture today of all those songs in the set. And then if anybody has a request for anything, I'll do it tomorrow. So I'm around all night. So if you've had fancy hearing something, if I haven't done it today, I'll do it for you tomorrow. So I'm going to do a song called Bend in the Road. This is one that I wrote with the lovely Boo Hewardine. Any Boo fans in? Yay! Oh, I love Boo. He's amazing. I always like to say, any Boo fans in? And the response ranges from one time an entire audience broke into wild cheers and everything, almost a standing ovation. And then one time it was dead silent and everything in between. And I always like to tell him, "Oh, they like you in Shrewsbury." I'll message him later and he'll be like, "Oh, great, thank you, that's very good." So it's very dry. So this is a song we wrote together a few years ago. It's called Bend in the Road, which I thought was quite appropriate for what we've all been through. So everybody okay? Yeah, I'm going to try not to talk so much. I'm sorry. I've only had 2 coffees as well. When your feet are tired and your heart is heavy and you just don't know where to go, this is not the end, it's only a bend in the road. When you've been walking for days and you can't find your way, there's something that you ought to know. Oh, this is not the end, it's only a bend in the road. Bend in the road, bend in the road. You're gonna turn that corner, you're gonna lose that load, 'cause it's only a bend in the road. And when the highway's cracked and you've been breaking your back and you've got nothing at all left to hold, oh, this is not the end, it's only a bend in Yay! Just a bend in the road. All right then, well, one of the songs I used to get asked for a lot on my Saturday nights during lockdown was this Richard Thompson one, which is the very first Richard Thompson song I ever learned, actually, and also recorded. And I actually had just started playing it when I played the Cropbury Festival for the first time, which was in 2005. And I remember he was there, and I went up to him and asked him, my friend nudged me, she said, go, he's over there, go on and talk to him. And I went up and I asked him if it would be all right if I recorded this song of his, and I was really nervous. And as soon as I got near him, I just lost the ability to function as a normal human being. I was so awestruck. And it's happened 3 times since as well. So I've just decided now I'm never going to approach any musician that I really admire, because I just make a fool of myself, really. And anyway, I said, I really like you, and I really like all your songs. I really like Persuasion, that's really nice. But then some of the other ones, they're a bit darker, and they're good to do the hoovering. And I was going on like this. And in the end, I said, Razor Dance, I think I said, sometimes do the hoovering to that one. And he just looked at me and went, hoovering. So I said, and I really like Waltzings for Dreamers, and I was wondering if I could record it on my next CD. And he went, he said, we never say no. And I took that as a yes. But personal endorsement from Richard that we never say no. So when I saw him there a couple of years later, I actually asked him if he'd sign the back of my guitar. And I turned it over, and I already had Jules Holland's signature on the back. And he went, he said, so I just put to Edwina. And I went, you know my name? And he went, well, yeah, it says it here. Oh, my God. And I may as well just tell you about the other time. It was in Australia. My very first time touring Australia, 2015. And Chris Weil and Julie Matthews were there at the same time, so they were really funny. I had a really good time. And Ross Ainsley was there. And I kept bumping. There was a little circuit that you do all around South Australia and New South Wales. It was lovely. So our paths kept crossing over this whole month. Flossie was there as well. It was really, really good. So I was on this festival, and it was a really lovely festival, and Richard Thompson was the headliner, and I was on about 2 in the afternoon, and I did a CD signing afterwards. So then he did a CD signing after his gig, and I queued up to buy the CD. So the people in the tent were saying, Edwina, are you all right? Did you need something? I said, no, I'm queuing. I'm queuing to buy the CD. Oh, right, okay. So it got to me, and by the time it got to me and the guy in front had done a deal where we were going to take a picture with of each other on each other's phones. So I bought the CD, which was called Acoustic Classics. I bought 3 copies, and he signed them. And I was going to be really cool. I wasn't going to let myself down. And I got to the front. It was my turn. He looked at me, and I looked at him. And I said, I love you. So, the voice in your head is just saying, stop talking, move away from Richard now, just move away, back away, never come back. So, this is Waltzings for Dreamers. Oh, play me a blues song, fade down the lights. I'm sad as a proud man can be sad tonight. Just let me dream, oh no, just let me sway, while the sweet violins and the saxophones play. And miss, you don't know me, but can we pretend that we cared for each other till the band reached the end? Oh, 1 step for aching, 2 steps for breaking, waltzings for dreamers and losers in love. 1 step for sighing, 2 steps for crying, waltzings for dreamers and losers in love. Some nice singing down there. Do join in if you fancy. Oh, they say love's for gamblers, the pendulum swings. I bet hard on love and I lost everything. But don't send me home now, put a shot in my arm. And we'll drink out old memories, and we'll drink in the dawn. And Mr. Band Leader, won't you play one more time? For I've good folding money in this pocket. top of mine. Oh, one step for aching, two steps for breaking, waltzings for dreamers and losers in love. One step for sighing, and two steps for crying, waltzings for dreamers and losers in love. You don't know me, but can't we pretend that we care for each other till the band reached the end? Oh, one step for aching, two steps for breaking, waltzings for dreamers and losers in love. One step for sighing, two steps for crying, waltzings for dreamers and losers in love. Oh, waltzings for dreamers and losers in love. Ah, lovely singing, everybody. Thank you so much. I just love that song so much. So I mentioned earlier that I was invited to play the Beardy Folk Festival. So I really, really want to mention my lovely friend Leela Cooper from Apex Music International. She booked me for Shrewsbury the other year when I came and back again, and she booked me for Beardy. Now, I have to say, before I went and did that gig, there was a little part of me, because I've just really been out there gigging now since I started off at the Bridlington Folk Club. It was 1994. I did a couple of songs. They'd reformed after a few years being shut. How some folk clubs, you know, they sort of fizzle out and then they come back. And I'd just moved to Bridlington and I decided to go down and have a go at singing in public, which I'd never done. I'd sung for all my friends and my mum and family dues, that kind of thing. No PA or anything. Didn't even have a capo at that point. I didn't know what they were. Anyway, and so I stood up and did a couple of songs at the Bridlington Folk Club, and I loved it. It was terrifying, but it was amazing, and I loved everybody there. I thought they were brilliant, and a lovely fella called Ralph did Mr. Punch and Judy Man, and so skip forward 6 months, and I'm there, you know, like, play Punch and Judy Man, Ralph, play again, it's my favourite. And I was learning new songs, you know, to go and do, and it was amazing. And from there, I just sort of, it all rolled over very organically till this year. I did my first paid proper gig in 1996 in Bridlington, at the Ridings Hotel. He wanted 3.5 hours and an encore, so I worked out that was 25 songs. And I had to play in front of the fish tank, and I wasn't allowed to turn the fish off to plug my PA in. I was worried all night I was going to kill this fish, because I was using the same plug. Anyway, so from there, it's now 25 years this summer since I did my first gig. Thank you so much. So first of all, I'm really old. And my mic stand, I bought it from the shop on the same road, Hilderthorpe Road. I bought this wonderful mic stand. And my mic stand is now older than some of the people I do gigs with. So I bought it in 96. But anyway, so I've just been, it all went from there and I ended up doing music full time. I've done it for years. So then lockdown happened and I was doing my Saturday gigs. And there were some Saturdays when I was thinking, oh, I don't know if I can be bothered to drag myself off the settee all the way to the dining room. You get a bit lazy. And it came to bed and I was thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to actually go out of my house again. I've not left Driffield in 6 months. But you know what? As soon as I got on the stage and I didn't want to get off. And I was going, that's it. Oh, you know, and you realise that what you love to do, you've always loved doing it. And it was just brilliant. And so now you can't keep me in. I'm out all the time. I just want to be out playing all the time, busking, everything. I'll busk anywhere. So I'm really, really happy to be playing. I know I'm waffling on a bit, sorry. So I'm going to now do another original song and I dedicate this to lovely Maddie down there because she once told me that she likes it. And when you try a new song and someone tells you after, oh, I like that one, you should keep doing that one. It really encourages you. So this is one I wrote with two friends a few years ago now. I was in a trio called Hummingbird with the wonderful songwriter and singer Amy Wadge. and the wonderful singer and songwriter Kathy Burton, and we were called Hummingbird. We made an album and we toured a few years, and between us we got some really good gigs because Kathy is a very famous Christian singer, so we all got to play green belts through Kathy's connections, which is like the Christian Glastonbury, really. Speaking of Glastonbury, we got to play Glastonbury because of Amy, because she's quite rocky, and I managed to wangle us on the bill at Cropbody. We said we'd do it for free, but they gave us 200 quid anyway, and we sold loads of CDs. And so we had a really great year. I mean, that was like a wow. And we wrote all these songs together, and this is a song I'd totally forgotten about until somebody actually asked for it, because they'd seen it on YouTube, and they asked for it at a gig, and I thought, my goodness. So I just went behind a screen in the break and practiced it and came back out and did it. And I've been doing it ever since. And then Maddie said, oh, I really like that one. So this is quite an appropriate song because, you know, all those endless weeks and stuff stuck it inside. I think music and friends kept you going and things online and Zoom and open mics and, you know, quizzes with the family and all that. So this is really a song to sing for a friend who might need cheering up. I know a lot of my friends. There was a lot of presents. I've got an amazing stack of gifts, homemade scarves, cards, photos. We all just left things on the doorstep for each other, and it really, you'd open your door and there'd be a plant from Lynette on the door, or there'd be a box of chocolates from Shirley. Just thinking of you, hope you're all right, you know. So this one is called Hold Me. So still talking, sorry. Hope she asked me back again. She'll be like, oh no, I'm her again. The telephone's ringing itself off the wall. Baby is crying, and you've had no sleep at all. And you're too tired for dreaming. Give me a call when you just can't take anymore. You're fighting for air, down on your knees. You're reaching the point that you want to leave. You're sick of pretending everything's fine. Oh, call me, 'cause I have the time. Strong, you can only be so strong. There's no shame in saying you're lonely. Wrong, you can only go so wrong. So come on and hold me, baby. Well, I'll give you laughter if your heart starts to break. And here ever after, my love's free to take. And I'll be your rock when the ground starts to shake. And I'll be listening, whatever you say. Strong, you can only be so strong. And there's no shame in saying you're lonely. Wrong, you can only go so wrong. So come on and hold me. You can't take any more. You're all cried out. Your heart's on the floor. You're so worn down. Telephone's ringing itself off the wall. Baby's crying, you've had no sleep at all. You're too tired for dreaming. Give me a call when you just can't take anymore. No, you just can't take anymore. There we are. I saw you take that picture. I'm only teasing. So there's so many people here. I know I'm going to have such a lovely afternoon because when I came last time, I played Monday. I was sort of in and out, but I spent the whole time here after playing catching up with people, and like Maureen and Kieran from Hitchin. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you came. I think I said, I didn't know you came here like a million times. And then when you say that, they say, oh, I've been coming for like 20 years, didn't you know? And so I can't wait to have a catch up. And speaking of Maureen and Kieran from Hitchin, a few different people were really supportive to musicians during lockdown, and one of the things they did, they of course run the amazing Hitchin Folk Club, which is one of the first folk clubs that ever gave me a spot. They gave me a little support spot, and it was really lovely. And then Maureen said, well, we'll do you on a trio night, and then we'll do you on a double bill, and then you build up, you see, to your own gig. And I love that. Sometimes when people say, you know, what is it you want? You know, what do you aspire to? And I basically say, well, I started off doing little gigs, and I want to do bigger gigs. That's it. There's nothing else. Anything that happens aside of that is a bonus. That's it. You know, you start off in the little room, and you grow up, and you do the big room. That's it to me. So anyway, so that's what happened at Hitchin. But Maureen and Kieran decided to look through their back catalogue, which is amazing, of the last God knows how many years, and they made some concerts available for people to buy for a £5. And after a few months, Kieran sent me some money, and it was amazing, and I paid my gas bill, and it was brilliant. And Richard Dydens did a similar thing. He did something called Folks at Home, and I didn't even know he had a recording of me from the New Forest Folk Festival. I didn't look at it, because I think I was even bigger than I am now then. Anyway, I don't mind what I sound like, as long as I look accidentally thin. That's the dream for me. So I never did watch it. He said, oh, I've got this video, Ed. He said, would you mind if I included it in this Folks at Home? And I said, of course. I didn't know you had that. Oh, yeah, I've got your whole set from whenever it was. I was like, oh, yeah, well, I'm not going to watch it, but yes. And then he's like, did the same. He just sent me some money, and I was like, oh, wow. So those kind of things really, you know, they kept us all going. It was really amazing. So totally forgot what song I was going to do now. I did have one in, oh, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to really enjoy catching up and chatting. So I met somebody at a wedding yesterday who talked more than me. He was the other wedding singer. He was so nice. I found out his entire itinerary for the weekend, everything he'd done all week and what he did during lockdown, and then he made me do a selfie for his socials. I didn't even get a word in. I couldn't believe it. And the song that they asked me to go and do, it was lovely Pattrington. A year and a half I thought Pattrington was near York, it's near Withensea. And I couldn't help giggling, it is a wiggly road to Withensea. I used to do a Sunday afternoon gig there in the 90s, in a really rough pub in the afternoon, proper daytime drinkers. The first time I went, I thought they were going to kill me. And someone said, do you know any Celine Dion? And I went, no, but I know one by Ray Charles. All right then, and I think I just got away with it because I was on my own. And it was like 60 quid, and I used to drive back on the Wiggly Road from Withensea, and Pam Ayres was on Radio 2 in those days at tea time. I used to listen to Pam. Anyway, so this was actually near Withensea. It was a beautiful place. You could tell there was no expense bed because they only booked me for one song. And it was the song As the Lady Walked Up the Aisle. Her name's Ellis. And I have to tell you, because her husband-to-be was called Gary Kemp. So when I got the email from Gary Kemp, I thought, bloody hell. Oh, my God. And then first of all, I thought, well, I think he's married to Shirley, from Pepsi and Shirley. And then I thought, he probably doesn't live in Pattrington, near York. That's what I thought. So anyway, it wasn't Gary Kemp from Spandau Ballet, but they were lovely. So anyway, they booked me to sing as Ellis came down the aisle. And when I very first sang at a wedding, it never occurred to me that the distance from the bride coming in to reaching the altar, you know, is about 30 seconds normally, and I didn't know what to do, and I remember singing away, and I thought, well, I'll just keep going. And then the minister was sort of giving me the eye, and I thought, I'll bring it to a natural finish. That's what I'll do. And you know, the voice in your head. So I know that now. And so I was joking, you know, that I'm going all the way to Pattern to do 30-second gig. And the other guy was singing a couple of songs. I think he was doing John Legend in the middle and Ed Sheeran at the end, and he was very nice. And we had a good old time. So this was the song, and this is the song that was number one on my lockdown gigs. When I counted up all the piles of paper, there were about 13 requests. Well, 13 weeks when I did it, and there were usually about 6 or 7 requests for it. And I would save them up so that, you know, there were all these requests all together. And it was Feels Like Home by Randy Newman, so I'm going to do that one. It's a lovely song that ended up, my version of this ended up being used in a film 12 years ago, I think it was now, 11 years ago, in the film My Sister's Keeper, which is probably one of the most depressing films ever made. If you've ever seen The Notebook, which is weepy, this one's 10 times worse. It's very weepy. And I was so honoured. Still have no idea how they heard about me, but they put this song in full towards the end of the film. And then all these years later, Ellis and Gary asked me to sing it as Ellis walked down the aisle. It was one of her favourite songs. So written by the lovely Randy. So I'll do this one. Check the time, because I'm really waffling on. I'm okay. It's not 5:30. I'm all right. Yeah. goes for all the songs, actually. Something in your eyes makes me want to lose myself. Makes me want to lose myself in your arms. There's something in your voice makes my heart beat fast. Hope this feeling lasts the rest of my life. And if you knew how lonely my life has been, and how long I've been so alone. And if you knew how I wanted someone to come along and change my life the way you've done, it feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I come from. It feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. Hello. Hiya. Window breaks down a long dark street, and the siren wails in the night. But I'm alright, 'cause I have you here with me, and I can almost see through the dark there is light. And if you knew how much this moment means to me, and how long I've waited for your touch. And if you knew how happy you are making me, oh, I never thought that I'd love anyone so much. It feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I come from. It feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. Oh, some lovely singing again there. Such a lovely song. Funnily enough, I ended up putting that song on the same CD as the Richard Thompson one, and it was funny because at the Crockbridge Festival, when you play, it's very exciting anyway, but you do get asked to do a few, basically they say, would you like to do some interviews with people? They ask you this before, and I just said yes to everything, and I did this interview backstage with this really nice lady, and I remember that was in 2005, and one of the questions was, what's one of your favourite songs? What song would you wish you'd written? The Do You Lie that you wish you'd written. And I said that one, and I hadn't even I'd never started playing it. I just loved it. And I just started working it out to play about 2007, I think. And then I put it on my album in 2008, just because a lady called June at a gig I do in Worcester liked it. And when you play the gig in Worcester, she makes you an apple pie with your name baked in pastry on the top. And I'd had so many lovely apple pies from June, and it'd be like a really big one with Edwina, and then she'd sometimes bring a little one and say, I was in a hurry and I didn't have a lot of flowers, so it's just got Ed on it. That was the only reason I recorded and put that song on a CD, and what do you know? So there you go. It's just amazing. You know, these things just come along sometimes, and you couldn't make them happen if you tried. And that's the beauty of them. So I'm going to do another couple of songs, and I'm going to invite a special guest. If any of you remember seeing me last time, you might remember this special guest. Most of you might know him because he's been coming here for about 1,400 years. And he's, in fact, Louisa, the lovely lady, she is camping next to him. So the lady who introduced me. So there you are. So I'm just going to do a couple more, and I have actually got a request. So it's very rare that you come to Wigan, you've got a request in advance. So I don't know where Joe Owen's mum and dad, Jim and Hill are. Oh my God, right at the front, that's amazing. Well, Joe sent me a message and she said that you'd be coming. She said, you very sadly lost your dog Billy recently, which is very sad. And I understand that because I lost my cat Joey a couple of years ago. It's awful. And they said that it's really spectacularly inappropriate because you've lost a pet. This is Waiting for the Guy to Die, which is a bit inappropriate. But Joe said you really like it. So it's the only comedy number I do, and I thought I would do it, because this was another song that was one of the ones, it was in the top 5, this one. It's a comedy song written by a very lovely and very funny comedy songwriter called Casey Jones. And I met her in Nashville 21 years ago when I first went to America and discovered a whole little folky music acoustic scene in Nashville, very similar to the scene we have here. That, you know, you think, oh, Kenny Rogers and Dolly and all of that's amazing, and Hank Williams, but there's just loads of little pockets of little local communities and little villages and towns all around Nashville, full of people just like us, having sing-arounds and this kind of thing. And it was really nice. So I met Casey. I thought she was so funny. I used to go to all the gigs, and she just sang comedy songs, that was it. And she had a twinkle in her eye. She was an older lady with flaming red hair. She was beautiful. She was like Bonnie Raitt or something. She was an amazing guitarist. She taught me how to strum. And I do only do about 3 strummy songs still. But she showed me how to hold the plectrum and everything. And her songs just made me laugh. So my favourite song of hers was always, I Could Get Over Him If I Could Get Under You. That was my favourite till... Oh, she's got loads. She's got, I hate your lousy, rotten, stinking guts, but I'm not bitter. That's a good one. And this one, though, is called Waiting for the Guy to Die, off her album Casey Jones Live at the Bluebird Cafe. Every man I meet is either married, gay, or dead. That's also a song. Maggie G does a nice version of that up in the northeast, if you ever go up the Saltburn Folk Club. And but this was always my favourite one. It's all about a young lady who marries a rich old fella for his money, thinking that he won't have long to live and she'll be, you know, great. But he won't die, so that's the problem. So it's a cautionary tale, really, from both sides. And so Hill and Jim, this is for you from Joe. All right then, bit naughty this. It's got a very minor swear word, in it, so. I married a man who's 95 and wealthy. Now I'm waiting for the guy to die. And the doctors assured me he's not very healthy. I'm waiting for the guy to die. And oh, what a thrill when they read his will, and everything he has will be mine. What's meant for his kiddos will go to his widow. I'm waiting for the guy to die. When he gets the shingles, it makes my heart tingle. I'm waiting for the guy to die. And in a matter of months, I'll be filthy rich and single. I'm waiting for the guy to die. With money to burn and sugar daddy in the urn, just think of all the crap I could buy. Sorry. A tisket, a tasket, hey, throw him in the casket, 'cause I'm waiting for the guy to die. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long years, he's still here, he's still here. I thought this was gonna be easy money, but he keeps going like the Despite all my wishing, he's gone into remission. I'm still waiting for the guy to die. Gets worse. Was it only a rumor that he had a tumor? I'm waiting for the guy to die. I'm sorry. Well, it's no joke. This dude won't croak. Now he's giving Viagra a try. Well, he wants to thrill me. Please, somebody kill me. I'm waiting for the guy to die. Oh, take this old geezer and throw him in the freezer. 'Cause I'm waiting for the guy to die. Thank you so much. Well, I know that there's probably a lot of us out here today, here this weekend, that have missing a few people, you know, from people that we know of, like, you know, Nancy Griffith and John Prine, to people in our families and our friends. And I know, you know, myself, we've lost some people this past year and a half, and it's been really sad. And there's one guy I will really miss, because I always used to, anything like this, I'd always sing Famous Blue Raincoat for Peter, lovely Peter Bedford. And a bit like Maddie in the other song, the first time I tried this song, Peter said, Edwina, I like that Leonard Cohen one. I love it. Keep doing it. So I did, and I ended up recording it on the next CD. It was only afterwards I realised I'd put a Leo Sayer cover and a Leonard Cohen cover on the same album. I don't know if that's ever been done. Because I've made 2 CDs. Well, I made one years ago, which I didn't like very much. But I made 2 albums myself. And I've put 8 originals and 3 covers on each, because I always still like to do my cover songs at my gigs. And so one of the covers was Can't Stop Loving You, the Leo Sayer one. And the other one of the other ones was Famous Blue Raincoat. And it only occurred to me, because, you know, Len and Leo can split a room, can't they, on their own. They're room-dividing artists, really. You either love them or you hate them. So anyway, there you go. So I'm going to dedicate this to lovely Peter, which I think I will always do forever. And it's Famous Blue Raincoat. Now, this is a bit long and miserable, but the version I first heard was by Joan Baez on a cassette tape that a friend made for me. Because I said I didn't like Joan Baez, and he was that horrified. He said, have you heard this song? I said, no. Have you heard this? No. Oh, well, you've just been listening to the wrong stuff. So he was that horrified. He made me a cassette, and the first song on it was Diamonds and Rust. I thought, oh yeah, I like this. And then the second one was Famous Blue Raincoat. I thought, oh yes, I like Joan, she's a bit good. So this is Famous Blue. So this is a lot zippier than Len's version. So if you're one of the ones who doesn't like Len very much, and you're thinking, well, I'm going to kill myself now, it is about 5 times faster than Len's version, I would say. It's quite zippy, Joan's version. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to invite my lovely friend Matt to join me for the last couple of songs to see out our set. So here we go. Now this, as I say, won't be too long. Actually, it's still quite long, but anyway. It's 4 in the morning, the end of December. I'm writing you now just to see if you're better. And New York is cold, but I like where I'm living. There's music on Clinton Street all through the evening. And you tell me you're building your house deep in the desert. But are you living on nothing now? Hope you're keeping some kind of record, yes. And Jane came by with a lock of your hair, said you gave it to her that night when you planned to go clear. Oh, did you ever go clear? Well, the last time we saw you, you looked so hitch some woman to a flake of your life. And when she got home, she was nobody's wife. And I see you there with a rose in your teeth. One more thin gypsy thief. But I see chains awake. Oh, she sends her regards. Well, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? What can I possibly say? I guess that I miss you. I guess I forgive you. I'm glad that you stood in my way. If you ever come by here, be it for Jane or for me, I want you to know your enemy is sleeping, and I want you to know your woman is free. And thanks for the trouble you took from her eyes. I thought it was there for good, so I never really tried. No, Jane came by with a lock of your hair. She said you gave it to her that night when you planned to go clear. Oh, sincerely a friend. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. Please welcome to the stage the wonderful Matthew Nelson. Come on out, Matt. And please give a round of applause to the guys doing all the videoing and all the recording. Hey! So Matt and I met at the Moonbeams Festival, which is our local festival. I live in Driffield in East Yorkshire, near Bridlington, or Leeds-on-Sea, my friend calls Bridlington, Leeds-on-Sea. It'll be busy today. We used to have a chip shop, actually. It was always busy. Bank holidays, all very busy. And I remember my mum once tried to make us open on Boxing Day, and we all complained. Then she said, well, people will be going for walks. We're going for walks. I want chip walks. 3 people came in and bought chips, and we were all like, oh. Anyway. Matt and I met. Matt was a member of the John Palmer acoustic band, and they had me to guest on a song for a lovely friend of ours, which this next song we're actually going to dedicate to. So I met Matt jumping up to do a dedication for the lovely Drew Black. Shall we give a big hand to Drew, who would have been here? And you know, all these years, I've seen Drew at our local festivals and this and that, but actually, I've never really told anybody, but I go around doing all sorts of gigs that Drew would turn up at and he would already be at. And many a time I'd be just driving along thinking, I don't know where I'm going, I'm lost. Drew would appear on a corner in a town. Come on, Eddie, I'll jump in with you. And I'd be clearing off the passenger seat. I could jump in. He'd tell me where to go. So last year when I came off and I had to go find the CD area, I didn't know where I was going. Drew went, Edwina, the CDs are in my hand. Just took my hand, come on, over this way. Amazing. He was just always there. And of course we lost him. And this was a song that he always really loved, Caledonia. And Matt and I did this last time. So we're going to dedicate this to him. And please, please, please feel free to join in, everybody. You still okay, everybody? Yeah, all right. Well, I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away, so I've been telling old stories, singing songs that make me think about where I came from, and that's the reasons why I seem so far away today. the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. 'Cause Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Well, I have moved and I kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving, lost the friends that I needed losing, found others on the way. Oh, and I have tried and I've kept on trying, stolen dreams, yes, there's no denying. I've traveled hard with conscience flying, somewhere with the wind. But let me tell you that I love you, think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. 'Cause Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. I can see Sally Patterson singing. Now I'm sitting here before the fire, the empty room and the forest choir, and the flames that couldn't get any higher. They've withered now, they've gone. But I'm steady thinking and my way is clear, and I know what I will do tomorrow when the hands have shaken and the kisses flown. I will disappear. Come on, Shrewsbury, let's have a big sing. So let me tell you that I love you, think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Matt Nelson, everybody, and the lovely mandolin. So Matt's going to join me tomorrow as well for a few, but we're going to do one more to finish. And I just want to mention the crew and the team here that I didn't know this, because obviously I've only played once before, but I believe that the festival team have put this all together really differently and sort of so that it could go ahead. So shall we give them an amazing round of applause for all their hard work? There's a lovely sound guy. We've got Rich and James, Drew out there, and all the lovely MCs, stage managers, Penny and Joe and Louisa. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for listening. Thank you, Matt, for joining me. We're going to finish off with a song that was one somebody asked for one week, and I thought, oh, I've never had a go at a Cat Stevens song. So I did it, and then I really enjoyed it. I mean, some of the songs I got asked to do during the lockdown, like DuckTales, the theme from DuckTales, which is a kids' programme. I thought, well, I'll probably not do that one again, so I wrote it on a sheet and sang it. This one, I knew straight away I was going to learn it in my head, because you can do songs off a sheet and you can do them in your head, and they're very different. I find that a very different way of playing. So I made a point, I thought, right, Moon Shadow's going in the head. That's going to... So this is actually my first time playing it in public, standing up out of my head, if you know what I mean, rather than sat at the dining table. So I'm going to be over at the lovely CD stall in a minute. I've just brought one album, the Pour Me a Drink album, and it has Feels Like Home on, and Waltzings for Dreamers and Leave a Light On and things like that. It is a little bit old now. But to make up for that, I brought some free magnets. I got some fridge magnets made. I made them myself. Now, what was supposed to be a glowing light on the wall looks a bit like a purple blob, but still, they're free. So come and get one. They're in a nice envelope. Come and have because I like to give a free giveaway, and I used to have free badges made by Shirley the Badge Maker, hotmail.co.uk in York. But she retired. She said, Edwina, love, I'm putting my badge maker up in the loft, and we're going to go off to Skipsy in the caravan. I said, okay. So I ordered loads and loads and loads, and I used to give them away free. It was just the album covers, my 2 albums. And they're all gone. I think there's a few kicking about in the garage that have fallen out of a bag, years ago. So I thought, right, I need something else to give away, so it's fridge magnets. So come and get a fridge magnet. And I've got some very nice leaflets. They look very expensive because I did the wrong millimetre on the paper order because I didn't know. So seriously, they look like cardboard. And it's just Edwina Hayes with my best quotes on, Nancy Griffith and this and that and the other. Anyway, so... come and say hi, and we're going to be playing 1:30 tomorrow on the village stage. I think it's 1:30. So this is the song Moon Shadow, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you very much for listening to me, everybody, and thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Sleeping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, or lose my land, yes, if I ever lose my hands, well, I won't have to work no more. And if I ever lose my eyes, if my colors all run dry, as if I ever lose my eyes, I won't have to cry no more. And I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. I'm leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. And if I ever lose my legs, well, I won't moan and I won't beg. Yes, if I ever lose my legs, I won't have to walk no more. And if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south, yes, if I ever lose my mouth, I won't have to talk. And did it take long to find me, or I asked the faithful light? Did it take long to find me, and now you're gonna stay the night? I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. I'm leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Matt Nelson, everybody.
Edwina Hayes, everybody.
Thank you. I'm going to go find my lovely friend Jo Gittins now and her family. Jo, where are you? I'm coming. Yay. Thank you so much.